All right, you're riding live with Bobby Allen. This is Mike Hall and Drive.
Thank you. Hey mama, can you see me coming? Like a light shining through a tunnel.
Good morning, Kim.
It's been so long.
Good morning, YouTube. You're riding live with Bobby Allen. And this is Mike Hall, Drive.
Tell you about all the changes in the weather, no doubt. It's driving me crazy and insane.
This ought to be a good one.
Feel alive. If we just let it go and enjoy the ride, we can try. So let's drive. You gotta do that.
All right, folks. Good morning. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Facebook. You're riding live with Bobby Allen. That was Mike Hall, the godfather of truth music, and also the head of the official music of the Bobby Allen Truth Factory. I am Bobby Allen. This is the Bobby Allen Truth Factory. And this morning, this video is about the secret space program, Solar Warden, and UFOs. And the reason I'm doing it was when I woke up this morning, checked my email stuff. I had an article on there and a small note. It said, Bobby, this is for you. Do with it what you want to. So I'm doing with it what I want to. Hey, Malibu, what's going on? What's going on? So, Solar Warden, secret space program, and UFOs. That's what we're talking about here this morning. So let's just go ahead and read this. This is part of the disclosure, folks. You people don't understand. But since Trump started talking about Space Force, it's the slow disclosure now of the secret space program, the UFOs, and how friggin' long they've had the damn technology that we've been robbed our entire lives. Eric Robinson, good to see you. Harvey didn't have a great day yesterday. So let me get into it. Solar Warden is a space force that has a presence in low orbit on this Earth. The United States entered into a contract with Solar Warden in February of 1954. That's what I said, February of 1954. Now, the technology they got a few years earlier when Eisenhower met with the Draconians and the Reptilians on the tarmac at Holloman Air Force Base. That's right, he met with them. Back in the early 20s, late 20s and early 30s, the Nazis went to Tibet and stole all the technology that was written in those books on how to build the bell-shaped Vietnam type craft. And from there, the evolution of space travel began immediately. And why wouldn't the U.S. have the technology? I mean, Prescott Bush financed Hitler's Nazi party and financed the Nazi side of World War II. Prescott Bush, George H.W. Bush's father, and George W. Bush's grandfather, Jeb's grandfather, low energy Jeb. So we've had this technology for a long, long time, and we've been robbed, we've been lied to, we've been mind fucked our entire lives. This entire civilization has been on a one classic, total mind fuck. Our reality is fake. The engagement prompted 30 years of preparation that finally organized into a secret United States Space Force by 1984. Solar Warden is a private entity that is not the property of the United States. Other nations having space technology, listen to this, other nations having space technology, and I'm not yelling, it's just my voice, I get excited. Other nations having space technology are also under contract with Solar Warden, such as, but not limited to, Japan, China, Russia, India, the European Space Agency, and the United Nations. The United Nations, each nation entered into their contract at various times, depending on their overall technological advancement, which is specifically contingent on uranium enrichment capability. Did you hear what I said? Uranium enrichment capability. This brings us back to uranium-1. You're going to see how all the pieces fit together when I'm done here. And it's a good thing I've got some friends out there. They're the real deal. This is no bullshit, folks. The collaboration outside nations is why the unidentified flying object UFO phenomena has been under wraps on a worldwide scale and not just in the United States. Most of the UFOs that people have seen are our ships. We've had ships since the 50s. We've been to Mars, they've been to the moon, Apollo, NASA was just another illusion, distraction, mind fuck, whatever you want to call it. Solar Warden was disclosed to the world after the Gary McKinnon 2002 hackings in the United States. All U.S. Space Command centers were immediately absorbed in 2002, such as the United States Space Com. It is possible that other nations who were contracted with Solar Warden also consolidated and reorganized their Space Force Defense Complex in 2002. That's right, folks. So it's the computer's hacked, the information is out there, and immediately they begin to cover it up. Complete deniability. The United Apollo space program was just a cover for the UFO program. We don't need rockets to go anywhere. Other nations, as such, other contracted nations would be using a different code name. Tompkins' rendition of the space fleet at the Sea of Tranquility, allegedly witnessed on a live feed from Apollo 11, may actually be ships under Solar Warden with a careful study of comparison to Xenu Solar Warden, the Xenu out-of-place artifacts. Solar Warden was active as early as 1954. So they saw something going on from Apollo 11 as they're getting ready to land. They're not quite sure what it is, but they think it now. They're saying Solar Warden ships. In the study of xenology, the Solar Warden insignia, the patch, details 7 stars on a deep blue background. The 7 stars, represent 7 majority colonies, and each representing a major faction or dominion who have an outpost on the blue marble planet Earth. Outpost. Solar Warden. They have an outpost, what, here? Diego Garcia underwater base? The Puerto Rico underwater base that's just been destroyed? No. The stars appears to be grouped into 2 separations, a group of 3 and a group of 4. It is presently unclear if the separation or divide is a physical one or an ideological one or both. Now, I'll be putting all the pictures that were sent with this on my Facebook page. And next week, you'll be able to see stuff on the wall behind me as I'm talking, getting this thing all put together here. The ring on the outset surrounding all that is within is the solar warden. Dominates all. Each star has 7 points. Therefore, the star that represents mankind may depict 7 lead Humanian Earth nations or trade organizations. See, they trade, folks. They are trading in space commodities from Earth. The biggest thing they trade are children. Children to feed the reptilians. Feed the reptilians. Likewise, each of the other 6 major star factions have contracts as well. All star factions are active. Each are embedded in human society and have always been since the beginning of time. Some factions may be underground, some in low Earth orbit. Some might even be on terrestrial objects near Earth. For example, the moon, Mars, moon's Mars, Phoebus. Their origins were recorded throughout different human cultures, often points to the Tenerius constellation, namely Pleiades, 7-star colony, but not exclusively. You hear that, folks? Pleiades. Is it all coming together now? That this information has been available and has been there. They discovered this in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and they act like today in 2020 that we can't even boil. We got to have electricity to boil water. Such bullshit. I'll be glad when this happens, if it happens, where we get the free technology. No more pharma. No more energy problems. Nothing. Low energy. There goes the electric company. Goodbye. Goodbye, Dr. Doolittle. I don't need you anymore. So, Bobby, here's the whistleblower testimony information. How many people like for me to continue? Well, I'm going to anyway. Whether you want me to or not, I'm going to continue. Good to see you out there. Roseanne, Christopher, Monica, Mavi, Kimberly, Vanessa King. Solar Warden is a secret space program run by the United States Navy. Now, this is important because their cylinder ships were actually made from submarines. We had so many submarines, they converted several of them into actual spaceships. There's a picture on my Facebook page right now of a small triangular craft docking with the space station, and they couldn't get the feed off in time. So there's a lot more going on up there that we know about, but we're going to get the information because Trump's going to provide it to us, or it's going to be leaked out like what's going on right now. Solar Warden is a secret space program run by the U.S. Navy. It is responsible for monitoring all incoming and outgoing traffic in the solar system. It patrols and defends our solar system. It also travels to other star systems for offensive missions. Around the late 90s, Solar Warden changed its name to Radiant Guardian. Radiant Guardian is divided into 2 fleets. A military, offensive, and defensive fleet, and a scientific R&D fleet. Before an extraterrestrial craft can enter our solar system, it receives protocols transmitted from one of several beacons outside of our solar system. What? Beacons outside of our solar system. They've been going all over the different timelines. Fold the paper in half and jump through the portal. They were instructed to stop within a certain quadrant before sending an identification friend or foe signal. Then they receive a flight path, an air traffic controller. What? Air traffic controller? The solar grid is broken. The solar system is broken down into grids, which are further broken down into patrol zones. These are zones where no craft should be present. Trespassers are warded off or engaged. You know what engaged means, right? We're having some space battles. Anybody think about Star Wars? Anything you see on the TV and the movies is real, folks. That's how they tell it to us. They lie to us right in our faces. They say, hey, fuck you. This is what we're doing, and we're going to show it to you in a TV show, and then you can never say, we didn't show you. They also worship Lucifer while in plain sight, silently in plain sight. Trespassers are warded off or engaged depending on the circumstances. The carriers deploy multiple air wings at once to each patrol zone after they return to the carrier to patrol a new grid. The Solar Warden fleet is made up of over 8 battle groups. The fleet is made of carriers, fighters, triangular shuttles, research vessels, troop and transport ships, hospital ships, supply ships. These carriers can be as long as 2 kilometers. That's a tad short of 2 miles. 2 kilometers. Folks, are you figuring it out yet? Are you figuring out what a lie has been portrayed to us? We need to save these kids in school. The small carriers are modular and can function as research vessels, troop transport ships, or hospital ships. The carriers were designed to carry a large complement of crew for extended periods of time and travel to other star systems. Although Solar Warden was mostly kept just inside our solar system in the local star cluster on rare occasions. Now, folks, this is important because these people that are on these ships do like a 20-year and back program. But when they come back, their time, their body is regressed. They back up time, they change time. That's why looking at the Looking Glass video on playlist 203 on the YouTube channel, the Bobby Allen Truth Factor, is so important to you. If you don't understand the Looking Glass, none of this will make sense to you. They have some stations located throughout our solar system where vessels dock for repairs, conferences, personnel transfers, etc. They have some other bases on moons, on Venus, Mars, and its moons. And there are also some alien bases in a nearby. There are also some bases in nearby star systems. If you're bored yet, I'm sorry for you. The officers are drawn from Naval Space Command, while the brass or career military, the rank and file, are mainly from the MyLabs. They recruit mostly American as well as some Canadian, British, and Australian personnel. They also have mostly German and some Chinese eggheads. Guys, they've been playing with this stuff for 60, 70 years. 60, 70 years, flying all over the place to speed. And here we are paying $400 to buy an airline ticket to fly across the country and back. Shit, you can do it for nothing. You can, if you go to a time transport facility, like he talks about the Looking Glass, you can go from Maine, where I'm at, to California in about 15 seconds. Crazy. Also, Barry Soetoro, the late Obama, that's right, the late Obama was also part of the program. For propulsion, the cigar-shaped vehicles use a temporal drive based on principles of quantum entanglement between certain isotopes. They are propelled by left-right torsion drives. The bubble created by the R twist is slightly larger than the L twist. This propels the craft forward in the direction of the R twist. In the beginning, like I told you, they used submarines retrofitted with torsion field engines. The United States Navy began working with aircraft companies in the 1950s to design spacecraft carriers. They were eventually constructed in the late 70s inside a massive underground shipyard beneath the Wasatch Mountains of Utah. They were also constructed in Antarctica. What? Antarctica? I thought nobody was allowed down there. Now we know why. There's a lot going on down there for a long, long time that we're going to be finding out about. Once the carriers were 60% constructed, the engineering crew lived on the craft and assisted with the build-out. In 1980, President Reagan was briefed on the existence of 4 or 5 ET races and on Project Solar Warden. Afterward, Reagan pushed forward the Solar Warden agenda even further than anticipated. That's when he came up. They asked for the money to fund the Star Wars. The Star Wars. Remember, he was going to be able to fight everybody. They already had the technology. Man, I am pissed off about this stuff, man. I knew it all along. And now you get some confirmation of it. It just burns my asshole up. The first battle group became operational in 1984. The fleet received major upgrades according to the Reagan administration. So I kind of hacked up the reading, and I'm sorry for that. I should have probably pre-read it 4 or 5 times and got it all down in flow and timing, but I didn't do that. Nope. I just went ahead and ran a cold turkey. That's what I do. I just pick it up and run it as is. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. Now, if you're not a part of the Bobby Allen Truth Factor, you need to subscribe, like, and share it. It's commercial free. Doesn't cost you anything to join. Doesn't cost you anything to listen to me, except for time. It's the only thing you spend listening to me is a little bit of time. So, at this time, it gives me great pride and privilege to play this for you. And some of you have heard this before on Patriot Soapbox or somewhere, but here's another truth musicer. And that's all I have on the music. See, my YouTube channel has different numbered categories. 203 is Welcome to the Bobby Allen Truth Factory. 507 is the music. 603 is the sky, cloud ships. Nibiru, skies. I've got different playlists for different categories, and every day something is added to one or more of these playlists. You need to watch out because I'm starting to come back. The bow tie will be back come springtime. Another 2 weeks, be bow tied up. All right, we're going to get back to what was working. But on the way out, just listen to this. This is by a young lady by the name of Abby Cook. She goes by Blue Eyes. Subscribe to her YouTube channel. This is The Storm Has Arrived, and the storm is arising. All right, you've been riding live with Bobby Allen. Listen to this next week, right behind me. When I play the music, you're going to be able to see the video. You're going to be able to see it on the wall. I'm so proud of what I've accomplished with little or no money. By the way, there's a Bobby Allen Truth Factory out there. If you want to send me a few bucks, don't be shy. $10, a couple of cups of coffee. That'll help me out drastically. Most of you know my situation. Here we go. Abby Cook, you've been riding live with Bobby Allen.
The earth, the spirit, waking the soul. The truth unveiled, their program has failed. Their empire crumbling down.
The empire is crumbling down.
They'll try to erase you, discredit and disgrace you. So do you when you said too much? the spies, Google means lies, are keeping most in the dark. On your TV, the garbage you see has others mesmerized. But something is changing, momentum is gaining, the people are opening their eyes. And that is one thing they might stop it.
I believe you're going to find out we're going to have some arrests here pretty soon. Don't forget Super Tuesday. Wear red. Go out there and hassle those snowflakes. Have you cooked? Truth music. That's all I play. Karen Cox, good to see you. We've been talking about Solar Warden, secret space program, and the UFOs you see are our ships. The world, the nations of the world that can enrich uranium have had ships since the 40s and 50s. All right. You've been riding live with Bobby Allen. I just want to say thank you for watching. Share the video. Wake somebody up. I'll be back on today, I'm sure. There's plenty going on out there. So you're riding live with Bobby Allen. YouTube, thank you. Share it.